looking somewhere?
I'm Al McFarlane. I'm at Mall of America at the annual convention, the National Education Convention of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. A wonderful conference here at the Radisson Blu Hotel. I was just speaking to my next guest about sitting here this morning and watching 150, 60 kids walk through here orderly, focused, heading into the morning session, which I think was dedicated to giving them a sense of the history of the organization and of labor. Because what is at stake here is ensuring that the knowledge of the power of our people, the knowledge of the power of change, the knowledge of the power of protest and organizing is transmitted so that we continue to build on what we have so far. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Well, listen, my guest is Sherice Shomo. She is the executive assistant for the Secretary Treasurer of the New York State AFL-CIO, based in Albany, New York, and one of the largest labor unions in the country, I believe.
In the state.
In the state. And operating here as one of the conference coordinators. Right, great. So, Sherice, thank you for being here. How's Minnesota treating you so far?
Good afternoon. So far, I don't have to hold it. So far, Minnesota's been great. It's a pleasure being here. I love volunteering for the APRI. Like you said, watching the children. One of my favorite points of this conference are the children, the youth, and the information that we give them that now grooming them to become the next leaders here, next union leaders here, because the unions are important, and the fact that, job security and, to deal with all the issues here today for us, people of color, and for everyone included, because this is a conference of inclusion. We don't exclude anyone, and that's the reason I really do love to come and love to be a part of it. I volunteer for that reason. It's like a give back to my community, just because I know that we need this to keep, to make this last 50 more years, right? Because it can continue, because we have these youth here, like,
That's right.
and it's so many of them, and just to see them, it just brings me joy.
I think people tend to not remember the struggles that labor has led, and within that, the struggles led by great men like A. Philip Randolph and Bayard Rustin. And I think it's important that you all are carrying that torch, carrying that knowledge, so that we don't forget, because we cannot afford to forget. If we forget, we'll be back where we were.
Right. And that's important. We don't want to go back to where we were, and especially right now with the sign of the times and number 45 in office right now, it's very important for us to educate our youth, and so that they are the next leaders for us, because we're not going to be here for much longer, right? And it's just important, the struggles that everybody went through before now, it's like we bring it to the table so that we can be proud of what we achieved, and from now on to the next 50 years, because I do believe that we'll continue and strive for that long.
So from a reporter's point of view, from an observer's point of view, when I think about labor, I think about a couple of big waves that I think have occurred in the past 30, 20 years. I remember back to President Reagan and his abuse of the flight, was it the flight, not the flight attendants, but the flight controllers, right?
Yes.
And that was really an effort to devalue all of labor,
Absolutely.
right? Then, so that trend is kind of continued in a dangerous way, where people kind of accepted that labor didn't have the power it used to have. So that was one trend that was happening. But at the same time, there was a competing trend of more and more people of color being organized and joined. So the opposite thing was happening off the radar, on the street, on the ground, which is consistent with what A. Philip Randolph and APRI have been standing for years. So on the one hand, there's a push to discredit unions in general and to say they're not important. They try to actually get, I think, average Americans to think that labor wasn't their friend.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, we were focused on getting our people the rights and protections of labor. Talk about that. That's how I see it. Am I seeing it wrong or right? What do you think?
Oh, no, that's absolutely right. Just because the thing is, they want to discredit the unions, and what they don't realize is that they need us. Do you know what I mean? To just in the voting process, to begin in office, they are now realizing that there is power in numbers, and groups like APRI, CBTU, LACLA, for the Brown, and everyone that's all inclusive, we're all coming together. And with all of us coming together, nothing can stop us, right? And so that's important. And we're out here organizing and letting the community know that the unions are important. And for that reason.
And so one thing that you have said, and I've heard here again and again, is that black organized labor is not exclusive, it's inclusive. And one of the things that they tried to use to divide us and keep us out of organized labor was that we were the threat to them working. We have always, and you have always maintained, that our presence simply widens the tent. It means everybody, all boats rise.
That's right.
And somehow, and we have prevailed in bringing that message to the marketplace.
Exactly. Look at all the folks that are here today. Do you know what I mean? And that are excited to be here. There's sessions all day. They're full capacity. No one leaves. It's just great. It's beautiful people, smiling people. You meet new people. It's lots of networking. When you bring in the youth, it's like, whoever you bring someone new. It's just nothing but smiles and open arms. And we're volunteering. We don't get paid to do this. So what does that say about it, It means that we love what we do. It's important to us. We know that it's important to everyone out there, and to give them the information, because that's what it is, letting the information get out there. And if they don't see us out there on the grounds, how will they know?
Sherice, Shomo, thank you so very much. Have a great, great conference, and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
I'm Al McFarlane, Conversations with Al McFarlane, live from the Mall of America. This is the annual education conference of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. We'll talk to more people later. Thank you.